Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to divide the paper so you get a section of it to use for this project, and then you'll save the rest for stuff we can do later. So I'm going to take the whole thing and I need to fold it in half, okay? So I'm going to fold it, make these edges meet. I'm going to crease it. So at the other end you can see that I'm creasing it here. All right, and I want to divide this into quarters, and you guys already know that means in 4 sections, okay? Now the tricky part is this bag, it's got creases all over it, so you really got to pay attention to the ones you're making versus the ones that were already on there. All right, so you could just cut this and get 4 pieces this size, but you might want to have like big pieces and little pieces for different stuff. For what we're doing now, you need 1 little section of this, 1/4 of it. So I'm going to take this part here where I have the crease that I made where I folded it in half. And I'm cutting. So then I have it in half, okay? That gives you 2 pretty big sizable pieces. I'm gonna take this one and fold it, and I'm gonna set that off the side. I'm gonna keep that for later, for a project I can do down the road. For this, I want this section here, okay? So I folded it here where that's in half. So that's half of half, so you guys know that is 1/4 of it, 1/4. And at this point, I can keep either side. So once I have this split in half, it gives me 2 of what I really need. So for this project, we just want 1/4 of it, 1/4, all right? Some of you, if you're like me, that'll bother you, so maybe you won't use that part. Maybe you use the part that does not have that little bite taken out of it. So what I'm gonna do now is I wanna texturize this to make it seem more like fabric. So the piece I showed you before, it has all these crinkles and wrinkles in it, and so it seems to act a little bit more like fabric. So to get the paper more prepared, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ball it up, crumple it up. So I'm not balling it up to throw it away, so you wanna be really careful about trying not to tear it. If you tear it a little bit, you can pull a piece of tape on the back. So I'm gonna crumple it, but then I need new wrinkles in it, so I'm gonna uncrumple it, and then I'm gonna crumple it from a different direction. The more that I do this, the softer the paper is gonna feel and the more cloth-like it will be. So eventually though, you're gonna be working on it where you're going to be doing designs on it by printing on it and drawing on it. So to get it a little more prepared, what you're going to do is you need to run it over the edge of the paper, or the table rather, to kind of iron it out. So I'm gonna shift my camera so you guys can see the edge of the table here. Hopefully this will not fall over. So there's the edge of the table where I'm standing. So I'm gonna move this chair. What I'm gonna do to iron this out so I can actually work on this surface, if I run it over the edge here, I'm just sort of sliding it back and forth as I do that. Now I'm gonna turn it around and do that. So this kind of irons it out to where I have that soft fabric-like texture, but this paper is flattened out for me to actually work on. What you will also need for the next few steps on this is, if you recall in our last project, you made a printing plate. So you made a printing plate of your person's face here and everything. So you had to have this thick stuff that's like the back of a cereal box or a cracker box or something. In my case, it was oatmeal. You'll need smaller parts for this one. So really, like, I have pieces left over from when I made that before, so I can actually use what's in here. So I'm gonna show you how to get this paper ready so you'll know how much of that box stuff that you need.